Good evening, and welcome to the August 20th at 25 Ashland Select Board meeting. Call this meeting to order at 7:05. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live by WACA-TV and live streamed on Facebook. Participation is available using the Zoom video conferencing platform. Any disruption with the video conferencing platform will result in the platform being shut down. In that event of any disruption, broadcasting will continue on WACA live streamed on Facebook. So, at this time, I'd like to have citizens' participation. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to come up and talk to us about something that they have on their mind, feel free. And those that are watching on Zoom, just raise your hand and we'll call on you. Oh my goodness, Mr. DeSoni didn't raise his hand. Wow. Oh, there we go. There we go. Spoke too soon. Okay, Mark. Unmute yourself, please.
How's that?
There you are. Good evening.
Can I ask why no camera?
We're on camera. Oh, I don't know why.
You guys are.
I think it's a security thing, right? We haven't
Yeah.
allowed
Okay.
since the Zoom bombings.
Okay. Did you hear that explanation, Mark? We've had some
Was
Zoom
there a
bombing,
Zoom
so
bombing?
yeah, so it's a security measure at this point.
We all know what you look like.
Yep,
Oh,
and we can hear you loud and clear, so you have the mic, sir.
okay. Actually, it's on the headphones home here, so I can have it at home too. Okay, Mark Sony, 119 Main Street. This one is, I know on the agenda, you got a capital committee agenda on the agenda tonight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
Is that gonna be to talk about as appointing people for it, or is this a discussion of the committee
Not this
itself?
No, not yet. It's just a discussion as to what the committee is for, and at some point, the board will make a decision to resurrect it and or request applicants to apply via the talent bank form.
Okay, and I got one thing about, I was at last ZBA meeting, I spoke up there about the mill building project. And I emailed Senate President Karen Spilka and got a response from her about how I feel, what's going on with the ZBA and maybe other boards. And I emailed it all throughout the town hall, other committees, including select board and town manager. Did it get received?
I did not receive it. No. We did not receive anything.
Does not sound familiar, Mark.
Huh?
If you got a
You didn't
response
get it?
from the president's office, you may want to forward that along to us. That way we can all read it and have
I
a
did.
better understanding. You did forward it to us?
I did. I gave it to the town manager, the select board, and
Did not receive it, and I
our
can tell you that I
assistant
was
town
going over my email.
So I mentioned this to Michael on Monday. I received no email to my select board address
Yep,
from Friday night to Monday morning, which is very unusual.
yeah.
Lucky, but I usually get something. So I don't know if there was something that happened, a glitch or something, but depending on when you sent it, Mark, I don't know what to say. But I had nothing from like Friday at 6 or 7 o'clock till Monday morning.
because I did send it. I
I
sent.
got junk stuff, but I didn't
I
get any
emailed.
notifications or anything. Well, Mark, we'll have to look
because
into that.
I did.
Mark, I'd say re-forward
I
it.
know.
Can you send it again?
I CC'd it to the people.
Okay,
Try it again.
You don't have to do that right now, but when you have a chance.
When you're,
if you
when
just-
you're off mic.
Yeah,
Oh.
when you're off mic. But thank you for letting us know
I did, and I did that. It was last week, like Wednesday or Thursday, something like that, and then I kept it for a couple of days on my computer, and then I deleted it off my computer.
Mark,
So I don't have it.
okay, Michael did some research just now, and the email that you sent was the wrong email address.
Including his?
Can we, maybe, Mark, why don't we follow up offline, because we have some people waiting on this.
Oh, no, I'm so, oh.
Yep.
Yep, that better? Okay.
It would be if you did actually get it. Now, I don't have it on my computer anymore, not.
Oh, okay.
It basically was saying that, I was upset at the board and and the state, how they're handling it in this town, and about the 40 Bs being built and stuff like that. And I talked about, it says got to be a lot of traffic and a lot of taxes being built just because of 40 Bs being in this town. I went in pretty good detail, good paragraph detail.
All right.
But
Well-
if you didn't get it, you didn't get it, but I know I did send it.
Okay.
I'll leave it
All
at
right,
that.
if
Thank you.
Michael got it, he'll forward it to us, Mark. It sounds like Michael might have received it, so he'll forward it and make sure we see it. But I also just want to say thank you for reaching out regarding the 40B issue. It's a big issue in town. And, so thank you.
We all
Okay,
set, Mark?
If, I'll thank you, yeah, thank you, Colin, and if the town manager can forward, if he does have it, he can forward it to everybody else, then that would be very appreciated on my side, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up and making us aware of it. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's a little, 7:11, so we're a minute behind schedule. Sorry about that. We have something that we like to do. It's announce the recipient of the Community Heroes Award, and to provide that award to the recipient, I would like to call on Candy Wilson to come up to the podium. Thought I was gonna call you.
Waiting for it. Awesome. Thank you. So, good evening. I'm here on behalf of the Council on Aging. I am actually the director of the Ashland Senior Center, and I'm really proud to be able to present this to a dear friend of mine, Diane Hansen. I'm going to try and get through this without crying. The Ashland Council on Aging elected Diane Hansen as the 2025 Community Hero. For many years, Diane generously supported both of our senior community and the town as a whole through her dedicated volunteerism. Diane was a regular presence at the Senior Center, always with a ready smile and a listening ear. She was a liaison for the Ashland Springwell, supporting the Memory Cafe, and served as a member of the Council on Aging for over 10 years. Diane often volunteered behind the scenes and enthusiastically maintained the center's country closet of donated attire, ensuring that all clothing was not only ready, neatly displayed, but also was cleaned and pressed. A special point of pride for her. For the benefit of the greater Ashland, Diane helped the town hall team prepare for elections, was an election clerk, and participated in town meeting. All for many years. In each of the efforts in every venue, Diane could be relied upon to do whatever was needed with a sunny disposition. Diane was the kind of person who made everyone she encountered feel seen and cared for, and she lived a life of kindness. She was a compassionate volunteer, an exceptional friend. Diane persevered in with optimism through a long battle with cancer, and throughout her discomfort, she remained deeply involved in the work of lifting others up. Her quiet strength inspired everyone fortunate enough to know her. The Ashland Council on Aging joins Diane's family and friends mourning her recent passing. Our town has lost a remarkable woman, and we will miss her greatly. Her vibrant spirit lives on the community she helped shape with the grace and generosity, submitted by the Ashland Council on Aging. And I would like to give this to you.
Maria, would you like to say a few words? You can go right up to the podium. So that way everybody can hear you. Thank you. I know it's going to be difficult, but we appreciate you doing that.
Diane was so excited, honored, humbled to receive this. She wanted her family nearby. She loved the senior center, working at the town hall. It was part of her life, along with her great nephews. It was, she lived a full life. She fought hard, and it was time to give up the fight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and your family. Thank you very much. Yeah, there are big shoes to fill with several people that we've lost over the past month. And, right, yeah, it hasn't been easy for this town, but we will persevere and we will remember what they've done, and hopefully those that fill that void will do just as well and have the same spirit and the same dedication that they all had. So, thank you.
Joe,
know
I
if the
just,
board would like-
I just wanted, to say, that Diane, right, she's someone who really embodies what this community is about in terms of giving of themselves. And so I just want to thank you all for, lending your sister and aunt to us, to the community, and be very grateful for what she brought to our community, because it is, it is just so important to a community to have people who are so unselfish like that, and so thank you.
Anybody else? We're good? Okay, Mike. Yep, absolutely.
I feel compelled, I have to say this. Diane was, I've known her now for 12 years, and I've never seen someone endure so much pain, and yet you would never know it just by talking to her and just by her attitude. She was always giving, not just of her time and her effort, but just her spirit. And it's called a Community Hero Award, and we think about heroes as police or fire or people who put their lives on the line. Diane was really a hero. Just, again, her amazing spirit, what she gave, and I'll never forget her positive energy. After everything she was going through, it's really remarkable. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. And Mrs. Ronconi, I didn't recognize you. Oh, my God. I watched this young lady grow up, and I walked right by her, and I didn't even recognize her. So it's.
That's what we said.
I did not. I did not recognize, and I'm staring at you. Oh, my God. I know who that is. Wow. You grown up, young lady. Because that's how I remember you, the fifth graders. From that point on, that's in my mind, that's who I see. I see a fifth grader there, right? So anybody that was a teacher would realize that, oh, yeah, you're right. There you are. Full-grown mom and everything goes, so fantastic. Nice to see you. Sorry, didn't recognize you right away. You should have said, hey, old man, take your glasses off. Take a look.
Who knows, maybe she didn't recognize you either, Joe.
Well, that's right, I lost 52 pounds, so you probably said, where's that fat man? He's not here anymore. Yeah, I can't make fun of myself, and, you know, I'm no good to anybody. So, but nice to see you all. Thank you. Okay, we're off and running. Next on our agenda is to discuss the Capital Improvements Committee. I know that we wanted to bring that up at our retreat at some point, so Brent. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
Got added.
That's right. That's right. How can, well, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you.
It got
you see it?
adjusted.
And this is the adapted one.
No,
No?
no, there was another updated one.
There's another
after
updated one,
discussions
okay.
Monday.
I'm going to say myself, I printed all this material out. So, Ron, what, come on up. Yeah, please, thank you.
All right, I'm going to pinch hit for Joe here.
Yeah.
So for the Ashland Fishing Game, the item on our agenda is to extend the serving area for the following events. For a fundraiser on September 6th, that the extended serving area will include the fenced-in area behind the function room and a portion of the softball field. The event is scheduled from 5 to 10:30 p.m. It will include a live band. A request from Ashland Fishing Game to extend the serving area for Fall Fest on September 20th, 2025. This will include the area around the pavilion and the softball field. The event is scheduled from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. and include a live band that will stop playing by 10:30. And I think
Third one.
the third one I think is, the 13th. The 13th? Mine has like two.
That's on
for-
Yeah, there's two that have the same date, but it's not, yeah, they're different ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And to extend the serving for a 50th birthday party on September 13th, 2025. And the extended serving area will include the area in front of and beside the pavilion. And that event is scheduled from 5:30 to 10:30 and will have amplified music via a Bluetooth speaker. Okay. All right. I think I got it all.
Good.
Okay.
You did the one for the 20th, correct?
Yep.
All three of them.
Yeah, they're all three are good, okay. So, sir, just a point of clarification. You provided us all different maps for each event. Would it be for the future to make it a little bit easier and cleaner? And I think, I'm just speaking on myself, I don't know how the board feel about this, to use the same setup for every event that you have, so when I'll use TJ's as example, when the marathon comes. They provide a map to us, and it's basically the same thing. And so when you ask for a request, if it's the same setup and style, we don't have to go individually. We can just do it one, and then we could go in the consent agenda and save it, so little time and effort for you
I
folks.
think what's happening, a different scenario with us is each individual person is asking for a certain thing. They're showing us where they want it done, how they want it done, and we're
Okay.
trying to accommodate them.
Yep, okay.
So it's a whole different scenario than
Okay.
TJ's would be in the same spot every time in the
time,
parking
right.
lot. So, whatever they have lined up, they want to do it in certain areas, and we just try to make sure we got it in a totally contained area.
Yep.
We're not letting anything go outside. We're even having the gates changed and the new fence put up so that we can, a new fence section, I should say, to accommodate, so we can keep everything contained, so we can keep an eye on everything.
In that one area, yeah,
Okay, it won't be anything outside of our total fenced area. Nobody can get out of that.
okay. All right,
That's the whole idea between the different, each person wants it set up a different way. That's,
Although moving forward, maybe we can try to
Space
Yeah, well, the
steer
main-
people, go moving forward,
Yep.
people are asking.
the Fall Fest thing worked out real good, and it's a large area. So that should be the main way we do it each time.
Yep.
But if the people want it different, we have to come to you and,
yeah,
because that's what they're asking us.
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll admit, I'm the one who asked, because this wasn't our consent agenda, but then I was noticing, I'm like, well, it's a little different here, and it's
Yep.
like, well, it's the same, and I'm like, no, it's different,
So
so,
specifically for the September 6th one?
Yeah.
It's Marco Rufo's
Yep.
suicide
Fundraiser,
prevention
right.
thing. And
Yeah.
they specifically wanted to kind of contain it.
Make it a
within
little
our
bit
hall
smaller.
area
They
and
wanted
in
it
our
closer.
back.
Right.
They didn't need the
The whole
large
field,
area.
yeah.
So we're trying to accommodate them for what they need. And there's going to be kids and stuff. So they wanted access to part of the field, but not the
The
entire
whole field.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So, but moving forward, yes, I would say pavilion is normally where we do the bigger events.
Right.
This just happened to be a little smaller, and they kind of, I think, wanted it a little more personal.
More intimate kind
Yes,
of thing than, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They did also want to use the hall for, they're doing
Auctions
a
and
silent
stuff, yeah.
auction type thing.
So the hall, because,
So they kinda
right, because a lot of the
It
other
makes it,
stuff,
it contains it much more tighter down that end. We don't even have to be down there.
right, because the two other events are including the pavilion at the other end of the
Correct. Just the
field
pavilion,
and
yes.
not the building.
Exactly.
So that's the difference.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't have much discussion. I think the maps were very clear, so that was very helpful. But like I said, because it was different each time was why I was like, I don't want to just have this on the consent. And I appreciate you
That's why
being willing
Nancy
to
tried
come
get
in
it-
and
she tried to get
explain.
it as tight as,
So,
so
but I
easy
don't have
to
any
explain.
issues with
Okay,
it. I just wanted to
that's fine.
have that discussion.
I'll just open up the board. Anybody else have any additional questions or comments? No, we're good? Then I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the 3 events with the maps and times and information as presented.
Second?
Second, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's 5-0. Congratulations.
As
We're
usual,
try-
thank you guys very much.
Well, thank you
You've
for,
been very
thank you
accommodating
for
to us.
opening
We
up
appreciate it.
your fields for very great events coming up, you know,
We're,
especially with the Rufo family.
We're
So,
trying.
yeah.
And
Thank you.
has the additional things and what you've been able to do been successful and
Yes.
good
Yes,
for the
yes.
fishing
And
game?
it's-
That's
each
the
time it
important
gets
thing.
better and better, so that's,
That's great.
You
That's
guys
good
made it
news. That's
good
good
for us,
news.
so.
Well, you guys are
Well,
making it happen too.
You're
though.
doing
Do
the
you want
work,
to
so-
advertise what the
Yeah.
other events are? I know
like the
Marco
Fall
Raffo
Fest
is that's a
So
fundraiser for
the
Marco,
one on the
his
13th
family.
is a private 50th birthday party, but the one on the 20th is Fall Fest, and that's raising funds for the girls, I believe it's field hockey, soccer, and something else for the Ashland
Nice.
girls high
Ashland
school.
high school sports.
Yep,
Nice.
great.
That's awesome.
And everyone's welcome.
Thank you. Except for
We'll-
the fi-
we'll-
except for
we'll
the
see a
50th.
few of them
We'll
walking
crash
around.
that party.
Thank you, thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much,
you, and
guys.
good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. I apologize for skipping over. Okay, so we're on to old new business. Capital Improvements Committee. We had it, we wanted to discuss that at the retreat, but we briefly commented on it, so we'll bring it up tonight. Randy, I know you wanted to talk about this with others, so I'll start you off first, and we can move right along.
So this was mostly a request from Makita.
Oh,
to
I'm sorry,
include this.
Makita.
No, no, no,
My
that's
bad.
okay. No, it came through Makita to me and
Okay.
then to you. So I don't know if Makita wants to, do you want to kick this off, or do we just want to have a discussion about what the capital improvement
Yeah, I
committee
think,
was?
yeah, I think just a discussion about what it was. There have been some inquiries about what happens in the future. So if we could just kind of just talk about that a little bit, and because we didn't get a chance to a few
Yeah.
weeks back.
Okay. You want to give a little history on the Capital Improvements Committee as to why, what was going on and why it was dissolved and what we're at right now? And what it did, what the purpose was?
So, and I'm not necessarily sure when it made it into the bylaws, but I know for the longest time we didn't have one. And then when the previous town manager was here, he formulated it. And so I think we had one going on for like 2 or 3 years. And, well, I'll just explain a little bit about what the purpose was. It was to look at operational or departmental capital. I think that's what is on the bylaws. It's an advisory group to the town manager. They make a recommendation to the town manager for capital, prioritization and capital plan. Unfortunately, I think there was some discontent amongst some people in the committee. And so a number of them resigned, and it was never reformulated again. And so around the same time, we had the Collins Center actually came in and helped us develop a capital, like, process with like a scoring mechanism and things of that nature. And so we've been using that since then, where we have different department heads, part of it. Catherine's leading it up now. Before it was Jen. Before that, it was me. And so we have the schools involved, we have DPW, we have a number of other departments that have operational capital needs as part of this, excuse me. And so that's really kind of the general upshot of the group. And
Who did you say helped get it organized?
the previous town manager.
So was it Tony? or-
But
It
and
was
then
Tony.
after,
It was Tony.
but then after you said that people kind of went their own way or
Went their own-
whatever.
yeah.
And then I think you put some kind of a matrix in place or that, or scoring
Yeah,
system.
so what happened was kind of around the same time that a lot of people resigned from the Capital Improvements Committee, and so like they didn't have a quorum to where they could meet. So Collins Center, we brought them on to help us develop a capital improvement like plan and like a process essentially, because it was a really rudimentary process what we had before, but they have like a scoring, mechanism, matrix, things like that. It's pretty extensive. It's evolved over the years I think that happened in 2019, 2018. And so, yeah, that's kind of where things are right now and what happened and where it is.
And it's still in the charter though, right?
It's in the bylaws.
It's in the I'm sorry, it's there in the bylaws. So, but we currently don't, basically, everybody resigned, didn't have a quorum,
Correct.
and so you had to do something, so that's where you got this prioritization process in place so that you could keep things moving along. Correct. All right.
Yeah, and so what we do is we work with like our group to come up with a capital plan. Present, usually the FinCom looks at it first, and then we present it to the select board. Yeah, and so that's kind of the process.
So what's interesting is, in the charter, the last charter that was approved in 2018, there is a program called Capital Improvement Program, which is part of the budget process. And the Capital Committee was a bylaw, and I was just trying to find it, and I couldn't, right? So our charter and our bylaws have a little bit of a disconnect. So that, I think, is something we need to look at. And the last time we had a charter was approved was in 2018. And I've mentioned this a few times, and we are behind. We're supposed to be reviewing our charter every 5 years. So we really should have done it 2 years ago, but I always say COVID sort of stuck a toe in stuff, so it didn't happen. But I think this is one of those issues that, yes, people have brought up that it should be, based on the bylaws, we should have a committee, but if you look at the charter, it has it as a capital improvement program that's managed by the town manager. So I think our charter has to be reviewed, our bylaws have to be reviewed, and we have to put in place something where they make the same recommendation.
Yeah, because it seems like they're not aligned right now.
Correct.
Doesn't sound like that to me.
There's a disconnect.
Yep.
Yeah, so it sounds like, I was going to ask, like, so, what are the next steps here? It sounds like,
I think the
this is
next-
something we have to take a look at.
I personally think the next step is to look at the charter and look at the bylaws and decide which way we're going to go.
This also came up as part of the comp plan process.
Yes.
It's actually one of the strategies.
Yep.
And I know one of the things we wanted out of the comprehensive plan process is to actually have that at town meeting and have basically the town,
Decide, right.
Basically endorse, the things that were in there. My suggestion would be to have that process go through and make sure everybody's in
agree.
alignment.
Oh, yeah.
And the town's in alignment, and then start that process like you're talking about, Yolanda.
Yeah, I definitely think I don't think we should do the charter review until the comp plan process is done, because as you said, Michael, there are things in the comp plan that I think will require us to look at the charter and bylaws and how certain things are happening. So let's finish the comp plan process, let that be approved at, hopefully at town meeting, and then from there say, okay, how are we going to address some of these goals that we have as a community? And I think one of them will be a charter and bylaw review to match some of the things in the comprehensive plan.
Because I have mentioned it being on the charter review
Yep.
last committee, and it was, it took us a long time to get it done, but I mean, we fine-combed that whole charter. I don't think that has to be done this time around.
No.
But it needs to be tweaked in some, and here's a fine example that this needs to be tweaked with some of the bylaws that we currently have, that they're not working cohesively together. So if we can pick those things out, it may be a little easier process instead of the four-year process that we went through to get that charter review done. Because that'll scare people off and want to
Yeah, I
get involved
don't
in any
know
way, shape, or
if it needs to
form.
be like four years.
So again, part of the process, periodic charter review commencing in the year
348
2010,
meetings.
every 5 years. Such a report shall be, they'll be appointed by the Board of Selectmen. I mean, this is how old this charter is. It still says Board of Selectmen. That has never been updated to Select Board.
But we did make that. It
Yeah.
said that-
Not, well, not in the one that I found on the website.
Because that's one of the first things we did. That was one of the first things.
Joe, the decision to make the name Select Board
Yep.
did not happen until after the full charter review process was completed.
I understand that, but at the same token, when that was done, I got a hold of Roberta, and Roberta said we were gonna make that change.
Okay, the copy that I found on the
hasn't been made
website,
yet.
it
Okay,
says,
'cause
anyway,
that
that's
was
not,
mine.
that's
Okay.
neither here nor there.
Fine.
The Board of Selectmen shall hold a public hearing on the report's recommendation, so we have to, the recommendation is that we create a committee to review it. But again, I don't think that should happen until after the whole comp plan process is complete, and then we move forward with the charter, with the bylaw, with the charter and bylaw review.
So a timeframe would be the comprehensive plan will be voted on in
November.
So maybe with the holidays coming up,
Probably
maybe
January would be-
after January 1st.
Yeah.
We bring this up again and start that process. Does that
Yep.
sound reasonable?
Yep.
Okay. So maybe at our second meeting in January, we
Yeah.
start that discussion and open it up for people and make changes that need to be made?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Any other additional comments or concerns? Go ahead.
No, this was tremendously helpful, just because I wasn't really familiar with some of the history around this, but I've been getting a lot of questions around
I'm
it,
sure you
so.
have.
And just one other comment. Precedence of charter, this is in the, again,
Yeah.
where provisions of the charter conflict with provision of town bylaws, rules, regulations, order, town meeting votes, and acceptance of general laws, the charter provisions shall govern.
Yep, yep,
So,
yep.
So the bylaws need to be,
and this has a date of 4/29/18, so if it was updated after that, the updated one is not on the
Not
town
on that,
website.
okay.
So we should
I'll
do
check with
that.
Roberta on that.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Any other comments or concerns? Randy, Claudia, we're good?
yeah,
Yeah,
thank
Definitely
you.
helpful.
Yep.
Okay. Open the BAA Community Grant Fall round with submission due September 30th, 2025. So Claudia and Brandy, do you, any other comments or things you want to provide additional?
No, not really. So what we'll do, I know Susan runs point with getting all the grant submissions, so we'll put something up on the website, I assume, opening up the grant round until the end of September, and then if if
I was going to
Claudia's
say, are
up
you
for it.
willing to still
Yeah,
do it, the two
I'm
of you,
still-
for the fall?
Yeah, I'm certainly willing to. If somebody else wanted an opportunity, I'd be
Sure.
willing to, but I'm
I'm-
absolutely willing to.
Whatever works.
You guys have done a
I'll
great
say,
job.
you guys have been doing a great job.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to allow you to continue.
Yeah.
All right.
Why mess with success?
Exactly.
Thank you.
I'm saying.
Mickey, that's a reg, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's a tough job giving away money. Yeah.
I would say, like, if the submissions are due at the end of at the end of September, we'll probably plan to have the decisions done by the second meeting in October. So does that
Okay.
work for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
That works for me. So I'll make a motion to open the BAA and community grant fall round with the submissions due on September 30th.
There a second?
Yep,
All
second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 5-0. Okay, so the grant period is now open. And for those who are wishing to provide additional information, make sure you get all that paperwork in by the 30th of September.
Michael, maybe this week in your newsletter, you could just put a link for people to,
Define the application form.
yeah, to find the application and maybe, hopefully, on that same place, review the criteria.
The criteria, yep. Okay. Moving right along. We are looking for individuals interested in running the 2026 Boston Marathon. Anybody interested should complete the form on the town's website. Submissions are due by September 30th, and the names will be drawn at random. Who does the selection? Who puts their names, who puts,
Usually
picks the
Susan.
hats? I know.
Susan and Michael.
That's cool.
So they're due by September 30th, and they'll be drawn on September 30th, or they're due by December 30th, and they'll be drawn? We try to do it as soon as possible. Okay.
Start making them, yep.
And just to clarify, so there's going to be 15
Bibs?
bibs available for, in the lottery? There was 25, but like we had
22, and then last year it got bumped up to 24 or
25.
25.
But then
And we had
do
15
give-
available because we give 10.
We do Nord, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just clarifying that that's
So
still
10
the process.
So there's 10 open for?
No,
open
15.
field. I mean,
15.
15.
Right, 10
If-
go to Nord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I had
if we
the other
still get the same number. Have we received our number of bibs yet? Susan?
No, we have not.
We have not.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next on our agenda is boards and committee reappointments. Would you like me to read them? Or is that something we have to do? We move
Yeah,
the
we
list,
just-
okay. Yeah. Has everybody had the
yep.
opportunity? Yeah, go ahead, Claudia.
So these are, the reappointments, there's a couple that just go to the 26, never mind. I'm in the wrong year, don't just ignore me.
It's okay.
Some of them are 1 year.
1 year, right.
no,
That's why.
Well, you're still on vacation.
Because you're living in the future.
We're
That's
talking
why.
about the budget,
You're living in the
2026, so,
future.
yeah, I can see
So
that.
I have one question, Susan. Sometimes we put on here, like, the appointment to the Metro West Regional Collaborative and MAPC, and I'm not seeing them.
I did not put them on because that was not something we discussed, but we could certainly add it to the next agenda if you would like.
I mean, it's pretty straight, I mean,
Yep.
unless
Are you
someone else
still- are you
wants to
still willing,
step up
right?
to, I'm still willing
I
to
didn't
be
have an
both.
opportunity to talk to you to do that.
So, I
but-
mean, unless someone else wants to be the select board representative to the collaborative or to MAPC, I'm willing to do that, so.
As you said to me, I am very happy with what you're doing.
So I would just,
That's a
thank
Awesome
you.
job.
So I would just say that we make sure on the September agenda, we
Yeah,
just
we put that on
make
there.
the appointment that I continue
Yeah.
to do Metro West Regional Collaborative and
Yep,
MAPC.
MAPC, okay, that's fine, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so,
I move that we accept the list of board appointees and thank all those who have stepped up to be reappointed.
is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's 5-0. Congratulations to everybody. We appreciate your volunteering and your time and effort in supporting the town throughout the many different committees and groups that are being served by you folks.
And just for any open slots on any committees, we have those up on the website. And we would definitely encourage folks to check those out and to apply, put in a talent bank form to join one of the open positions on one of our committees.
And I just want to, oh, do you want, you go
I
ahead.
was going to say about the
Go
2
for
meetings.
it.
And just to remind folks about there have been some process improvements implemented since probably the last time folks have looked. We discussed this back in June, but before you submit, even if before you submit your talent bank form, we recommend that you attend 2 meetings and make contact with the chair before you put in your talent bank form, so you understand what the committee does and what the commitment is before you formally apply.
And I just want to follow up with that Makita and I met today, so we're going to ask to be put on the first agenda in September, because we have another couple of changes that we'd like to start instituting.
Okay.
We're going to talk to Susan about it.
Okay.
Just to make things a little cleaner and the process a little more straightforward.
Yep.
And
Yep.
And this is a great way, these positions are a great way to maybe find something that you have a personal interest in
Right.
and help to make our community a great place.
Yep. It's always nice to have people that have the interest to apply for those positions instead of think that they're obligated to. But if they want to do it, then that's even better. So we appreciate that.
Yes.
And again, they may think it's something different, and, when you go to those meetings, like Makita suggested, it's always a great idea to do that. I know that's one of the things that Susan has always emailed them, the folks back when they send in the talent bank form, is make sure you attend a meeting or 2, ask the questions that need to be asked to see if that group works for you, and if it meets what you want to do, so.
Exactly, and I'll say that recommendation came from Susan, but also from our committee chairs when we met with them this spring. I think everybody thinks that's a great idea, just so that folks understand. And hopefully get even more enthusiastic about the opportunity to serve the community, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's great. Just a couple of quick things, we voted that in already. Just some of the vacancies that are available, we have some time, so I just want to quickly run down. Affordable Housing Trust, there's 1 3-seat open. Term is open, and an associate member, 1 year is open. Community Preservation Committee, Conservation Committee, 1 3-year seat. Council on Aging, 2 3-year seats. Cultural Council, there are 2 3-year seats. Design Review, 1 seat, and that's appointed by the Planning Board. So FinCom Committee, 2 seats, and that's appointed by the Town Moderator. Open Space and Recreation, 1 3-year seat. Sustainability Committee and Stormwater Committee, 1 3-year seat on each committee. And Town Forest Committee, there's 1 3-year seat. So if those are something that people may be interested in, please contact one of the chairman of any of those committees, and I'll go on the website, town website, to see when they're meeting, and join the meeting either via Zoom or come in live, depending upon if it's a meeting that is not held in Zoom. So please, we'd love to have you there. Okay, next agenda item. Special town meeting warrant articles are due by Saturday, September 27th, 2025. Now, we opened it up at our last meeting, and I don't know how many warrant articles have been submitted yet, so I'll turn that over to Catherine.
So far, there have been 11 articles.
Okay. Any citizen articles? I'm sorry, I had to ask, didn't I?
There could potentially be one.
One? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I know that's being reviewed by legal counsel.
Okay. All right, good. Any other questions, comments, ladies? Okay. All right. Discuss the Kidder Fenwell Car Show, and if the board would like to be a sponsor, the event is scheduled for Saturday, September 20th, no, it's not, September 13th. September 13th, right, the rain date is the 20th. I was there last year, the year before. It was it's always a great time to walk around and see these classic vehicles, and I mean, I have no problem recommending that we sponsor one of the vehicles as an award. It's always nice to walk around and see all these painstaking hobbies that these people have, and this is an expensive hobby too, for that matter. Some of these cars are well worth the money and well designed. So, any discussion on that?
Will you just explain what the sponsoring a vehicle means?
Yeah, No, we're not sponsoring a vehicle. Well, it's an award. It's an award. It's an award. Right, to a vehicle. And I think the last couple of times I won was near and dear to my heart. It was a 67 GTO, and it was pressed out. It was beautiful. And almost all factory materials. They're still original factory materials, which is just incredible. And the other one was a Model T that just, for some reason, it had a rumble seat in the back, and I must have missed that when I was growing up, a rumble seat, you know. Model T? Yeah, a Model T. You had a Model T? No.
I was going to say, wouldn't you have missed that by a few years, Joe?
Hell no.
Model T with a
we
rumble
were poor.
seat?
That's probably the only car we could afford. Back in the day. Yeah, the one you had to crank. Yeah.
So I'd like to move that we sponsor the Kitty Fenwell Card Show, the $250. I'm going to go in the morning, but I can't be there to judge, so if someone else wants to, I think, Joe, if you'd like to.
Did you use special criteria for judging, or you just had
Well,
a
it
soft
goes-
spot for a rumble seat?
Well, yeah, there's different. Get a rumble seat, yeah. Either that or just have GTOs in front of me, that's all. It has to be a 67 though, classic 67. No, it's, when you go and take a look at them, I can't even begin to describe the painstaking work that these owners put into their vehicles. I mean, it's incredible, the detail that they put in. So, you know, you look around and you see, they have a list of things that on the side of the vehicles, what they've done to the vehicle, how they have it, and the original paperwork that goes with them. So it's interesting. It's actually a history lesson of the
It's a
vehicle.
great event, and the number of cars that they
it's
get
nuts.
A ton.
is unbelievable.
It is.
The field is packed.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's a rainy day, but otherwise, they do so well, and it's a fundraiser for a great cause.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And Pete does a great job. Pete Comedian
Yep.
does a wonderful job, along with all the volunteers that are out there. And Eddie Rose was involved in that too, with, you know, helping out and everything. And it's just a wonderful event. And it was hot
It was.
last year. Oh, my word, was it warm.
Unlike Ashland Day.
Unlike Ashland Day.
Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. That's quite, I just hope it doesn't happen to you folks in October, that's all. But yeah, no. So, okay, so there was a motion made for 250, the sponsor. All those in favor?
We still need a second.
I'll
Oh, I'm
second
sorry.
that.
I thought we had
I'll
seconded.
second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And Joe, I'm happy to have you present the winning car for
You don't
another
want to
year.
come with me? Maybe you can sit in the rumble seat.
No. I'll try to be there if I can, but
Makita's not going anywhere with that. It's just,
Yeah, this
It's all-
going south.
no, we're not going south. I was, have you ever been on a rumble seat in the back of a car?
I can't say.
Okay, all right, just want to let you know.
Have you ever, no.
Yeah,
Never mind.
it's no different than being in the station wagon unbuckled in the back
Okay, all right, we're good.
while you're driving down the road. While you're driving down the road. For
It
those
is
who've
time
got it,
to
minds
pull
and
it
they got
back
it.
in.
Okay. Okay.
So we're
Time to
happy
get
to
back to the
support
agenda.
the Kid Fenwell Car Show and the fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. So,
Absolutely.
yep.
Yeah, it's a great time. It's a
Yep.
great time. And there's a lot of food there. The Lions are there. They have a couple other food trucks and stuff, and it's a great time. Just a great time for everybody. And thank you to Fenwell for having that and for Pete for organizing it. Great job. Okay, discuss and vote to create a gift account for the Ashland Day 2025 celebration. And I will turn that over to Brandy and/or Claudia.
So, I feel like I have an act to follow there with the rumble seat, but anyway. So, as folks probably have heard by now, we are working towards an October 4th Ashland Day with a rain date of October 5th. There's lots going on, which I'll kind of give an update on that in a bit. But basically, initially, this is sort of a partnership between our board, the Ashland High School Student Council, and the Ashland Business Association. And so initially, we had set this up as a fundraiser through the Ashland High School for their student activities account, and that was the mechanism that we were using to fundraise. In conversations with the school, it made a lot more sense because of the broadness of Ashland Day, and it's not specifically just for the schools, it's a much broader audience, to move that over to the town of Ashland and have that be an account under the town versus the schools. So what we are planning to do is to open up a gift account, which is the same, like we have a select board gift account. This would be a separate gift account specifically for Ashland Day 2025, 1 year only. This is the plan for now. So that requires the select board to vote to approve that before we can bring any funds over from the school side over to the town of Ashland.
Can I just give you a point of history with respect to that aspect? When Ashland celebrated 150th, the Ashland Day Committee came in front of the board at that time, because this was a town-wide event, and it affected, every business, every resident in town, similar to what's going on right now. And to make it clean, we asked to do that, and they set up a special account for that, for the 150th. And when the event was over, it was relinquished back to the original committee, the Ashland Day Committee, and then they just followed up through, the rest of the years. And that's probably something that you guys would entertain doing. Dan, go ahead.
So, couple of. Yep.
Cutting out? Okay. Okay.
So a couple of comments / questions. So I guess my first question is, the goal here is to set this up quickly so that we can accept funds for Ashland Day 2025. And then the plan would be after that to determine a path forward for the Ashland Day or Ashland Town Committee or whatever it is. Now, here's the question, though. As it's coming as a gift account to the town, this is then it's not a nonprofit, correct?
It's not a nonprofit through the
Okay.
schools either.
Oh, okay.
It's not considered, they're not considered a 501c3.
They're not a 501(c)(3).
No.
Okay. Okay. And then, so the follow-up question, and it's probably follow-up discussion after the event, is doing the work to help the Ashland Day Committee regain its 501(c)(3) status or create a new committee to get it into a 501(c)(3) status, so that the work that's being done can be continued and people can feel, a lot of people, if they want to donate, they want to do it to a nonprofit.
Yep.
And we don't have, the time isn't there to do it for this event, but I think in a little research that I've done and talking to Makita and a few other people, I think that it would make sense for us to help and step up to get either the Ashland Day Committee or create a new Ashland Town Committee or something to get the 501(c) status back.
So to clarify or to clear up some of the things that you just provided, the 501(c) that the Ashland Day Committee has been suspended because of the lack of activity. We haven't had an Ashland Day, a legitimate Ashland Day, though we had it and it rained, since 2019 because of COVID and 2 major storms. And then we had it last year, and unfortunately it didn't pan out because we had to shut it down as quickly as we started. So I don't consider that to be, an event. We spent money. We didn't make money, but we spent money. So we're in the process of getting that suspension or getting the paperwork in to allow
Reinstate.
to reinstate the
Okay.
501(c).
Okay.
So I don't want you to try to reinvent the wheel if it's already in there.
Okay.
And then when that happens, and we celebrate our 40th, I know that the current Ashland Day Committee has no problem handing the reins over to whoever wants to take that bull by the horns without, because 40 years is long enough, and I hope you folks take it along as 40 years works for you folks too.
Okay.
So if that works for you folks, that's our intent anyway.
Okay.
No, it sounds great. It sounds like things are moving. It sounds like, y'all are on top of getting the 501c3 stuff moving along
Well, yeah.
and thinking about the future, I think, which is a conversation for after we get through 2025. So,
And you're gonna tweak it once you're gonna sit down and, okay, then have one, like we did, have a meeting and then reassess what you did, what could be better, what could
Yeah.
be, avoid having issues or whatever, type of thing. So, yeah, not a problem.
Okay. So I move that the select board create a special gift account just for Ashland Day 2025, and that it be revisited once the event is completed.
Is there a second?
Second, and I just had a
Oh, I'm
comment.
sorry, I'm
That's
sorry,
all right.
Claudia.
I just wanted to comment that, a couple of things. First, I think that Yolanda, when you said either get the 501c3 back or start a new one, I think that your comments, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were just saying whichever is easier.
Correct.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
not,
It's
yeah.
just, if it's easier to reinstate.
or is it
and
easier to
there
just
is some-
start
There
new?
is some work, I mean,
Yeah,
again,
no, I
we
know
did a
there
little
is.
research, there is some work to reinstate it at
Yep.
both the state level and the federal level.
Yep.
So if that's the easier way, then go that route, or if creating a new committee and a new one, 501(c), going that route, whichever is easier and quicker,
Yeah.
I think should be looked
Right.
at.
I just want to clarify that. And then the other point that I just want to make, which I think is the more important, right, is that you and some others started Ashland Day, well, almost 39 years ago now. And that, it's been a remarkable community event that has carried on for 39 years. And so I think that the fact that so many people have stepped up wanting to participate, wanting to help make this happen, is an indication of what a great event it's been and how
People look forward to it.
people look forward to it and how important it is to really the fabric of our community. So I just wanted to recognize that and thank you and others who really, back in the early days, I remember, I wasn't doing anything except raising kids or whatever. And I looked around and saw you and others that I knew a little bit that were working hard to make it happen, and you did for many, many years. And,
It's a labor of love, it's not anything,
but the fact that so many people have stepped forward is such an indication of
which
what a loved
surprises me,
event.
because I'm surprised they didn't come forward and ask us, if you need help, we're here. But that's
Well,
another
sometimes
day.
people have to realize that there's desperation
Right.
before they
And
step
I
forward.
think for a lot of
true.
people, they didn't realize, it's one of those things, right? If it keeps going and you don't actively reach out and say, hey, we could use more people, they're not going to step up. I think what happened this time is because it was like, it's not happening, people are like, what do you mean it's not happening?
Well, when I
So-
went to that meeting, and I have to tell you, and I think I said it to you folks when you were there, just sitting there and watching the enthusiasm, it brought back that I was in a time capsule, 1986, sitting around a table at the DPW when there were 30 people there, and saw that enthusiasm back then as I was seeing that enthusiasm over at, at your meeting. And I said to Claudia, I literally, I teared up, and I'm not afraid to say that. It was just, brought back some great memories, and it was, and it was a wonderful time. It was a wonderful event, and, I hope that the weather's good. I hope the rainmakers, I'll have to say a prayer to Bob up there to make sure that it
And
doesn't
then-
rain. Yeah, and before, way before, because you want to sit up on Friday. You don't want to do it on Saturday. But long story short. Anyway,
Okay.
so we're good.
But we have to vote,
Yeah, so we seconded, we're good?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that's 5-0.
And then, I guess the other thing is, do we then, as a board, want to take money from our gift account to sort of seed this new account?
Which
to
is,
help?
which is a great segue into
That's
the
what I
next
thought.
agenda item.
Yeah.
Of course.
That is a great segue. So is it okay if I keep going?
yeah,
Okay,
no,
all
keep
right, I
going.
just want to make sure. So in your packets, I had put together a proposal, our group had put together a proposal. Okay. just to kind of outline what we are hopefully looking to do for Ashland Day this year, as we talked about, it's the collaboration between, you know, our board, the Ashland High School Student Council, specifically Josh Wixer, who's like awesome to work with. Let me just state that for the record. And the Ashland Business Association, Chrissy Reynolds from Anne Marie's Dance has been a really fabulous partner. And and Claudia, the four of us kind of came together after we had talked about this a little bit at our last meeting, but when we met as a board for our retreat back in July and we were talking about events, we were talking about how, you know, maybe one day the Ashland Day Committee wouldn't be able to do Ashland Day. And Joe was like, well, we didn't have the funds to do Ashland Day this year, so there's no Ashland Day. And so that made me very sad, and Claudia and all of us that love Ashland Day, because again, like Claudia said, you really kind of have built this legacy over 39 years, and there's something really special about Ashland Day. We do a lot of events here in town and a lot of really great things here in town, but Ashland Day is something that it's so near and dear to people's hearts because their kids grew up going to Ashland Day. They as kids grew up going to Ashland Day and then stayed in Ashland. We've had people reach out to us that have just, like, are willing to help above and beyond because it is just such a special place. Ashland Day is just such a special event.
It's a day of family events and
Absolutely.
reunion.
So, so the four of us kind of put out the word that we were looking for funds and we were looking for volunteers. And as Joe had mentioned 2 weeks ago, we met at Dulce de Leche and on a Sunday morning and in the summer, and 25 people showed up, which, like, for anyone that has been involved in anything in town, to have 25 people want to help is huge. So, and then after that, there were others that couldn't make the meeting that reached out to us. So we have about a list of about close to 50 people that have wanted to be involved and to help where they can. So the date is going to be Saturday, October 4th. We're also trying to plan for a rain date of Sunday, October 5th, and at Stone Park from 11 to 4. We're going to do a lot of the same things that everyone loves about Ashland Day. We are asking for people that we just started reaching out to people about booths this last week. We are asking anyone that does a booth to make it, to either offer an activity or game or something that is very engaging for the community. We love our businesses here in town, and we want to support our businesses. We do want to try to, like, make sure it's a very interactive event. So one of the things that we did was we implemented the framework that Josh Wixer did for Pumpkin Fest in 2022. And, you know, like I said, we're encouraging booths to have an activity or game, but we are also doing sponsorships for businesses and individuals. Things that we are doing are, like, if a business donates at, you know, $250, we recognize them on signage and our website and things at the event. $500, we're also putting names and logos on the backs of T-shirts, which will recognize the businesses that donate. Organizations or businesses that donate $1,000 will also have their name and logo attached to a specific attraction. So there will be a Needham Bank bouncy house. So, which isn't a bad thing. So it's a great thing.
I was about to say, it's a great thing.
It's a great thing. We're also crowdfunding individuals. We've had this out now for less than 2 weeks that we've been actively soliciting donations. And just to kind of give you an idea of what the groundswell that we're seeing, we have almost $2,000 in online donations.
That's awesome.
Plus the commitments from businesses that we've received, both verbal and we have some checks and things. We have approximately 5,500 in those commitments. So right now, we're looking at approximately, if everything goes the way we think it should, about $7,500 in
You're halfway there.
in about a week and a half. So, which is not bad. Our goal is to get to $15,000. And so one of the things that we are asking for is that, that we're requesting that the select board donate $1,500 from our gift account, the select board gift account, towards Ashland Day this year, and seed that new gift account that we just voted to approve, and the select board will also have its own little bouncy house. Or
I don't know if you want to put that on the.
or some sort of.
Maybe, a pie in the face.
We were talking about that we should do that. We should totally do that. Do you know how many people will pay good money?
Or a dunk tank.
We were
Dunk
talking
tank,
about
that would,
that.
they would use their tickets at the select board booth to,
Yes.
Yeah, to throw pies. So dunk tanks can be, the hardest part about a dunk tank is not getting wet. It's the beating that your body takes falling
Yeah,
into the water.
it's a lot.
I
It's
don't
a
see
lot.
myself
And it's
wanting to
also
fall in
like
any
beginning of
water.
October, which you don't know what the weather's gonna totally
This is
be
true.
like, but
Maybe pies in the face are probably a better option.
So Brandy, I just have one question on the proposal that you sent us.
yes.
And so one of the things that I think has always been great about Ashland Day is that it's been volunteers.
Yes.
And one of the items on here is that you are gonna work with, it says, on the site map and layout, that you're gonna get some help from Kevin Langmeyer
Yes.
from DPW. So I was chatting with, who was I chatting with? I don't know, there was someone and she is an event planner. And she and I were talking that unless Kevin is not doing it as part of his day job, there are people, I think, who could do that for you, unless there's a reason to go with Kevin.
So he's only helping out with the site map. So one of the things, so Susan's also been really helpful too. Officer Manny Toscano, who just did this public safety night, Susan connected Officer Toscano, myself, and he brought this huge map, like an aerial map that Kevin had done for him. And like it helped him literally physically map out locations and things on there. And so Kevin just reached out to us and just said, hey, how can I, I'm happy to help, and we'll look at a smart board and we'll map it all out, and we'll, it's pretty cool. And so it's really just doing that site map, literally the map, so that he's gonna help.
Okay, I just want us to be, I understand that this is the select board doing this.
Yeah.
But we are volunteering.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't want there to be too much creep that town staff is
Oh.
doing a lot of work for Ashland Day.
No,
Because
yeah.
we as a board at our retreat have
Right.
said, we don't want that to happen. We
Yes.
want, Ashland Day has always been run by volunteers and done by volunteers. So I personally don't want the creep of town staff. If it's quick and if it's easy and he can just do that, that's great. But I don't want us to then, moving forward, I don't want the committee to think that they can continue to rely on that.
Okay.
That would be
Fair enough.
that would be my recommendation, because it's been done without their assistance. So that's all.
It's pretty easy for Kevin. Thanks, Catherine. It's pretty easy for Kevin to whip something like that up. In fact, he loves doing it.
I was going to say.
So
And I'm
he
sure
probably does it at home.
I'm sure he does, and, I think it's great. I just want to be very conscious, because of the creep that we've seen from other events, that we as a board need to have another conversation about. I want to make sure that doesn't happen here, that's all.
That's
Because this
fair.
has always been done by volunteers. I mean, yes, we have to pay police and stuff to be there, that's one thing. But from another perspective, I don't want anyone on town staff feeling like I have to do this and it's gonna take away from other day-to-day things that I have to do. That's all.
I think that's fair, Yolanda. You know, I
would
think
agree.
just pursuant to what we discussed, you know,
I
so.
just
be
want to add too
careful.
that that is something that's been discussed openly, that's not something that we want to see happen, that
Right.
we want to be very, very careful, you know, and if that wasn't so fresh in our minds, or we hadn't been consciously having conversations about that, then maybe we would have done things differently in this instance, and we would have creeped, but because we have been very
Okay,
conscious
that's
about
fine.
that of
That's
late.
fine.
It's been,
And with all due respect with what you said, I mean, the person that's speaking right now is the one that set up the field every year. So if there's any concern or what, you know, I'm a treasure trove of information and. willing to
maybe it would be
share.
great for you to work with Kevin, and you know, maybe he can use his technical skills, and you can use your history, and put them together and
Put the
come
map
up with the
together.
perfect map.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you want it set up,
Yeah.
type of deal. You know, I don't know how many booths you're gonna have.
Right.
You know, by that time, so that,
Yeah.
I mean, all that comes into play. I mean, we had a food tent at one point. I know there's no tent. You're gonna have a bunch of people that have their own tents and stuff. I don't know where you're gonna have sitting arrangements for people to sit and eat. Because if you don't have a location to sit and eat, you're gonna have wrappers and trash all over the place if you don't have somebody picking it up.
Yeah,
So
I
make
think,
sure you have a
I
bunch
think
of
we're going to
volunteers
have
do
that.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I think that's key too, is where the generator gets set up, and
The generator has to be fenced off because
Yeah.
that plug setup that we have, that cost Ashland $3,000 to get that set up.
yeah, Mr. LaCroix is volunteering his
Yeah.
time to take, he's willing to,
As he does for us.
he's already gotten a quote, and he's willing to come and set it up and break it down, or
Yeah.
and so
He'll
Mr.
need help with that, but it's rolling out that cable, which is the
Yeah.
expensive part.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that nobody has, you know, you have one person that stays responsible for that, because that's key. That's key. You don't want people running around and touching that all up. But anyway,
Okay, I
Sounds good.
move that the select board take $1,500 from their regular gift account to put into,
can you hold on one quick question?
Sure.
Does that supplement the fall grant application form? Or is this something separate?
This is separate.
I think this is separate. I don't think we have to go through the grant
Okay, I
process.
just wanted to make
think
sure.
it's-
Yeah, it's not
It's
part
the
of the grant
select board gift, you know, we
Yeah,
have this
okay.
account
I just-
that we as a select, board, you know, just like
Yeah.
we give it for volunteer
Yeah, yeah.
breakfast
No, I
and,
just,
Yeah.
and our
It's the
holiday
same,
thing.
it's the same account that we just gave $250 for the.
For the Kitty Fenwell.
Kitty
Kitty
Fenwell.
Fenwell, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
that's good.
Okay, I move that we take $1,500 from the Ashland Select Board gift account and put it in the special Ashland Day 2025 gift account.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's 5-0. All right, congratulations.
Yay, thank
And
you.
just
Nice.
start going to church and make sure it stays a nice day. for
Seriously.
Down Shore. So,
And I
All
saw
right.
that Anne Marie's Dance Center has donated money as well.
Yes,
nice.
and we just got a commitment, we got a couple big commitments this last week. So Brian Donahue from Any Fence has given us $1,000. Needham Bank is sponsoring us for $1,000.
nice.
The Ashland Lions, we heard.
Oh, yeah.
$1,000 from the Ashland Lions. Let's see, who else? 126 Self-Storage, Mike
Yep.
Kane, $250.
Nice.
So, and we're seeing, like, Dorgan is going to, is sponsoring us for 500. I've heard Lucky Farms, 500. So we're getting there. I had a, just the sort of the excitement around this. I had met with the team over at the Metro West YMCA last week and talked to them about this. And it's not like in their wheelhouse to really give money because they're in the process of looking for money and raising funds for the new site. But they're very excited about like the thought of having a presence at Ashland Day and
Wonderful.
We
really
used to
like,
put a booth up there. I'm not See what they,
Yeah, so what they're gonna probably do, so they're gonna get back to me about like official partnership-like things, but they were talking about bringing they have this refrigerated van that says "Healthy Starts Here," and with the Metro West YMCA, and they're talking about bringing the van, and maybe as an activity, you know, doing some demos and some things with kids to teach them how to make healthy snacks.
That's a great idea.
And like some,
That's a big part of their mission.
Yeah.
Is healthy foods and nutrition, so that's great.
So, you know, stuff like that, and they're looking for, and then, you know, have it be as a way for them to be a touch point about the new site and answer questions.
So the Lions are also committed to have their food trailer.
Yes.
And they do their golf ball drop every
Yes.
year, and they've committed to doing the golf ball drop at Ashland Day again, yeah. So, so those tickets should be available soon. That is a fundraiser between the Ashland Lions and the Ashland Fire Department. And they're gonna do they're going to do fewer golf balls this year because they haven't always sold all the tickets. So I think it's gonna be, instead of 500 golf balls, it's gonna be 200 golf balls. And I think it's $5 a ticket, so every ticket represents a golf ball. So, and half of the proceeds go to the Lions, and half the proceeds go to the fire department. So if you're interested in a golf ball and being part of the golf ball drop, you can reach out to the Ashland Lions, Lion Doc.
yeah, Lion Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julian.
Julian Doctor,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Never
it's
present,
really cool, like how, like this is, the only thing is like, we've got a very tight time schedule. We've got like 5 weeks, and so, we'll put something in your newsletter this week, Michael, with the website and the link that people, are able to donate. That would be amazing. We're offering things for individuals for donation too. We're going to have yard signs printed that basically says, proud sponsor of Ashland Day 2025. We're going to have magnets. We're going to have T-shirts. So it's going to be a really great community event. And so check out our website and donate if you can. And if anyone out there is interested in a booth and hasn't connected with us yet, feel free to reach out. And we have a couple things coming up. Friday night, we will be at Ashland After Dark over by Needham Bank with a table for Ashland Day. And on Sunday, we are meeting again, our next meeting for the larger group. I'll send out a reminder, but Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, Dolce de Leche. And we'll be farming out more tasks for folks to pitch in and help, because it's kind of like an all hands on deck because we've only got a few weeks to go.
And believe me, it's quick.
Yes.
Comes up quick.
Yes. But thank you, and you know,
Oh, that's good.
this is going to be a great event.
You have a theme similar to a country fair type of deal. You know, and I know that Isabel Harrison always was a promoter of make it a country time fair type of deal. So sounds like that's what you guys are doing.
It'll be a good time,
Yeah,
and we
I don't
appreciate,
doubt it.
like, you know, all the support you give us and the Ashland Day Committee.
You're willing to help out.
Otherwise, like, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Oh,
you
you
know,
would.
so
Yeah, you
it's all good stuff. So
Okay. Seeing that I have the wrong agenda, I know that we have a consent agenda that we have to vote on. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's good. I don't see anything else. Are we going to town manager's reports right now? Okay, good. I have the right one then. Okay, update on community aggregation program. Mr. Michael.
Remember to turn my mic on. So I provided you with a memo about the new aggregation rates that we were able to secure, which will go into effect December of 2025. And just for everybody's information, right now, actually our aggregation program rate is actually a little bit more than Eversource. And so we were able to get it down a little bit. So right now, let me back up. one of the things I've really wanted to try to do, and I think the board has really been supportive of this, is try to get additional options for people to choose, if they wanted different choices for aggregation. And so we were able to actually work with DPU and get that done. So the standard product that everybody would be enrolled in is actually 25% more Class 1 RECs above the state minimum. So what does that mean? It means it comes from more sustainable sources, particularly wind energy that is located in New England. That is the difference between Class 1 RECs and different classes. So it's actually just our standard product is a little bit cheaper than Eversource right now, and then also more sustainable than what Massachusetts requires. There's also a cheaper option, which is, I guess you could say, more brown. It does meet the state minimum requirements, but a little bit less sustainable, if you will, than the standard product. And again, that's a little bit cheaper. That's 13 cents, 13.7 cents. And then there's also what we're calling a premium option, which is 100% Mass Class 1 RECs. And that is obviously a little bit more expensive. So this is also for a 35-month term. So it provides obviously some price stability throughout the length of the contract. And then obviously people will put in plenty of information as well as Colonial Power leading up to the changeover, where people will have an opportunity to switch, either go to Eversource, opt out and go to Eversource, or opt into one of these other products as well. So,
I'm sorry, the billing still comes through Eversource.
yeah, the billing still comes through Eversource. If you ever have a question about who your energy supplier is, you'll see it right on the bill. You'll see the delivery charge, and then you'll see the supplier charge, and it'll say on the supplier charge who the supplier is. Okay. So it's going to be with Dynegy Energy. And then one more thing that I didn't include on the memo because we were still finalizing it when I put it together, but working with Colonial Power, it looks like we are going to be able to add or offer a low income rate as well, which is going to save about a couple of cents per kilowatt hour. So not insignificant.
How about anything with the senior citizens? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I have two questions. One, regarding the different rates, will it be clear about how you select? Like if you really want to do the 100% sustainable one, that optional one? Because right now, if you do nothing, you get put into the standard product.
Correct.
So it will be made very clear how you make that change. Okay, and then is it something you can change along the way, right? In 6 months, you go, okay, you know what? I'm doing a little bit better. I'm willing to pay a little bit more to be more sustainable, or things have gotten worse and I need to save a couple of cents, so I'm going to go to the other one. Okay, so that's one thing. Yeah. And then the low income one, is that going to be an income verified program?
I'll have to look at the details
of
how they're, yes, it would be a verification program, or like you would be eligible for another program, another subsidy type of program.
Okay.
Just gets added to it.
Thank you.
Okay.
But, yeah, so there's...
I just, my question is just, how does this compare to previous rates?
It's a little bit, well, we've never really been able to offer, multiple options like this. It's not the best rate that we got. It's better than some of the other towns that have been going out recently, like within the last couple of months. I think it's a little bit higher than what it is right now. I did not include that, but yeah, it actually might be. Yeah, I'll have to double check on that, because if Eversource's rate right now is $14.84, yeah, I'll have to check on that, and I can confirm. You're welcome.
Elon, do you have any? No? Makita, you good? Randy, how about you? All set? Okay. Mike, fiscal year 26 budget update, please.
Sure. So we do have some good news just with regards to the budget, and I just want to share with you what is happening here. So once the final state aid numbers were produced and the cherry sheets were updated, we're going to have a net state aid change between Chapter 70 and UGA, which is Unrestricted General Government Aid, of $194,458. Superintendent Adams and I spoke. I think they're losing some federal grant funding. And so he would like, we talked about the possibility of basically using these funds and just splitting it through the 70-30, percentage split. That's part of our policy. I think he was advocating for all of this on this page to be split up. I was advocating for it all to go to the deficit, or, to reduce the deficit. And so we felt like this was a good compromise. So that would increase the school department budget by $136,000 and municipal departments by $58,000. So in addition to that, we have some local adjustments as well of $200,000 based on what we budgeted for new growth versus what the revised projection is after Don has gotten through some of his new growth calculations. The Keefe Tech assessment, as I had mentioned last year, is going down. So that equates to a total change of $225,980. And so what that would be used to do is to reduce the deficit of $2.8 million that we incurred in FY26. So not a huge difference, but it's making a little bit of a difference. Yeah. So any questions regarding this?
So in looking at the bottom statement, these adjustments to appropriation reflect the 70-30 split from the 420,438. That'll be the 70-30 split, or is that?
Well, I realized when I was reading this before the meeting,
So it's
the way I wrote it, so it looks like all 420,000 would be going towards the 70-30 split, but only 194,000.
okay.
Goes to
I
that.
just want that clarification.
Yeah.
Yep. Yolanda.
So, just let me, so the 225,980 is going straight to the deficit?
Reduce the
Okay,
deficit.
reduce the deficit. And the 194 is being, so, but how is the 225 being allocated? Because the deficit is a total number. So is that, how, is that being split in any way, or, right? Because our deficit is based on a 730 split of expenses of the school, school versus general government.
Yep.
So I would think the deficit would be similar?
Yeah, so the easiest thing would just be not to take as much money from the stabilization fund.
Okay,
as we
so
did
that's
at-
the plan. We won't be taking as much from stabilization. Okay. Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Stabilization is just one fund.
But it's
Yeah.
split up.
So,
So we're
Yeah.
going to be taking $420,000 less out of the stabilization fund? No. That's the tricky part.
that's
Okay.
the piece where I
So just
clarified.
the 225 is what we're doing less from the stabilization fund, and we're increasing the school budget by 70% of the 198, and we're increasing the general government budget by 30% of it.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, I was thinking about the
So it
individual.
increases our total budget by the $198,000. If we're adding that 198
Yes,
to
it
the
does.
total
It
budget
does. It does. It's just the revenue, you've got now the revenue that supports
to
it.
offset it. Okay,
So it wouldn't increase the deficit anymore.
correct. Okay.
I was thinking about some of the funds, like special education, water, sewer, some of those being, but it's not. It's going directly to the stabilization.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where we took the like a big chunk out.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good with that.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Um,
Bill transition.
Yeah, so I've mentioned before that Superintendent Adams and I have talked about transitioning the maintenance of the school fields, the maintenance and the scheduling of the school fields, back over to the school department. It just makes sense because it's school property. The municipal side doesn't, doesn't have any control over the use of that property, and it's not our responsibility. And plus, looking at the resources that we have. So Jim and I talked a couple weeks ago. The plan is basically going to put together a working group that consists of, representatives from different departments, also some of the youth sports and other, stakeholders involved, and put a plan together for the effective transition happening on July 1st of 2026. So, just wanted to give you an update on that.
Now, will that require the school department to hire people to
How they
perform
manage
some
it
of these?
is up to them.
I mean, some of the way they manage people, obviously, is driven by contractual agreement. So do they have current employees whose contracts would cover this type of maintenance?
I think that's something that we would probably work out through that working group, figure all of that out. So, any other questions on that before I move on? Okay. Just a real quick update on OpenGov implementation. Looks like we're going to start moving DPW over to that as well, starting, really starting to round out some of the departments that are on this system, which is going to make things a lot more efficient. No more chasing signatures and reviews. Should make it easier for different departments to review things that might not necessarily come in to their department, but they play a role in it. So, for example, if this happens pretty well right now, but like if a planning application comes in, health, conservation, they all would be required to look at it, make sure they look at it, sign off on it, make sure that there isn't anything jurisdictional in there. So there's that.
Just a quick question about that. So is there an implementation schedule or rollout schedule as to what departments will have access, when we get to our full target as to who's going to be on the system? Is there a schedule?
There is. And it fluctuates a bit because we're dependent upon OpenGov sometimes on the training aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can certainly get it for you.
I'm just curious to find out,
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. And then finally, not the best news, but we did get a positive sample for West Nile virus here in town. So it's been creeping up a little bit across the state, so we did get one. So we've already started putting some information out there regarding, just how you can protect yourself, all of that good stuff. Central Mass Mosquito Control Project is actually going to come and spray certain, streets within the location where they found the sample on Monday night. And then people do have the option to exclude themselves from that if they don't want to be subjected to that. So we'll put all that information in the newsletter and on the website and all of that good stuff as well.
Right, good. Just going to ask about that.
Just have a question about West Nile virus levels, across the state at this point. So, I know that there are a lot of activities that are happening, with their school, their dusk and people doing on dawn. What should we expect insofar as warnings? And we found one particular, we found one instance from one animal that was infected? Or
Yeah, one sample.
Okay, one sample, so that's a sample. So at what point do we start issuing advisories around dusk and dawn activities, et cetera, et cetera?
State usually gives us some guidance on when to start doing that. It's funny, if you go to the state website, they still have this listed as low in terms of
I
threat.
saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was a little bit surprised. So I haven't had a chance to debrief with Raj yet and ask him, kind of what that whole protocol is. I know, so what they do have is they have traps, across the state, and they go test those on a regular basis, regular cadence. I don't know exactly when that is, though, if it's weekly or every other day or something. That's something I need to get from Raj.
And will we let people know what area they found it and what area is being sprayed?
Yes, we can. I'm trying to remember if we know exactly what area where they found it, but I do have a list of the streets.
Okay, we should get that out
be
to people.
sprayed.
Yeah,
Was it south side?
that's
Because I
important.
know the newspaper in Framingham.
You know,
had
people can
questions
take the,
that side.
everybody should be taking precautions,
Yeah.
but folks in that area should be particularly vigilant.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, I mean, they're talking about the weather. This week is going to more like October temperatures, but, you know, if you can wear long sleeves, if it's not too hot, all of that good stuff makes a difference.
Do we know how many traps they have in Ashland?
I don't know that.
We have a few in our back
I'm curious to
yeah.
find out how
Because
they
they-
take their
because they go and check.
samples.
They've been
Yeah.
checking.
There, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, because they do it in wetlands, and don't you have wetlands right
Yeah,
back of your house?
Yeah, so
okay.
they're out there, yeah. There and
Can look into it.
the brook that goes between you and,
Mosquitoes and beavers. You gotta
Michael,
deal with.
I know it's not
And the
on
rumble
your list here, but paving on 135, if you have an update, and then if we could, in one of our meetings in September, get an update on what has been done and what else is planned, because I've had people ask me, so, you know, I've seen South Street, I've seen this street, I've seen 135. What is the plan for the rest of the paving for the rest of this year?
Okay.
If we could, but if you could give us a quick update on 135 now, and then if our next meeting, we can get an update on all the paving that's planned.
I know they haven't, I've got to find when they're going to do the striping. I know Dan had some particular concerns with some parts of the paving job. Haven't had a chance to connect with him today to find out just what the plan is. Are we going to
Okay.
make Lynch go back and redo it? If it, does it require that, et cetera?
Because that would mean remilling it and then putting it back down, right?
Correct, correct. Potentially, I mean, if it's around like some of the structures and everything. I mean, as much as I've driven on there last few days, I mean, I've seen a couple of things that,
Okay,
and I'm not even a paving guy, so, you know.
but the plan is to have it done before next week, right, when school starts?
Correct.
Okay.
That's gas work.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're repairing leaks. Yeah. Well, yeah, we've been
If they
on
don't, there's
them.
going to be a major problem at Fruit and Elliott.
Yeah, no kidding.
There already is. The amount
I-
of traffic on Prospect just to get to Elliott
I
has
bet,
been
I bet.
crazy.
I bet. And add school buses to that.
Well, and I did have to laugh because the gas project is going on, right? So Fruit Street is closed off. And the other day I'm on Elliott Street and our local guys, you know, glad that they're doing it, but they're then doing some patchwork. So you have this additional traffic on Elliott Street
Oh, yeah.
that is down then to one lane because of and so it was a little crazy. I was like, yeah, we could have planned that one a little bit better.
I ended up going 126 to Highland Street, back home in Holliston.
Yeah.
Just to avoid all that, because
Yeah.
it was a 5-minute delay,
Yeah.
easily.
Oh, yeah.
Easily, 5 to 10 minutes in that area.
Yep,
So. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
great, thank you.
Very good. Appreciate that.
Michael,
Board
did
reports.
you want to give any update on the 40Bs? Or,
We actually don't have it on the agenda, so we really can't get into it.
okay, I'll talk.
Okay? Yeah, put it on your board report. There you go. Yolanda, you're up.
Thank you. A couple things. So last week, Tuesday, Michael was there as well. The ABA and Chamber from the Business Association from Hopkinton and Millis and Marlboro do this great annual event at the Outdoor YMCA, so it's always nice to go to that and see people from all over. I attended that. On Friday morning, there were a number of us. I made it. I was surprised, but I made it at 7 a.m. for the flag raising at Stone Park for the Indian flag raising. It was very nice to see, and I had a nice conversation with a mom and her daughter, older, daughter, probably, I don't know how old, but just, and then them reaching out to me via email to get involved. So the daughter wants to help out with the October event, so I'm going to connect her with you. And the Indian, as we've seen, the Indian community really wants to get involved in this and support it. Last night, we had a Mindis School Building Committee meeting, and Paul Kendall's going to be reaching out to you to get on our first agenda in September to reduce that committee down. I mean, it took 5 or 10 minutes last night just to get our quorum because it's such a large committee, and he's hearing from people that are willing to step down. Where it's almost done, the fields are getting there. We had an interesting discussion about the fields last night, so but those are getting close.
Can I ask you a question with respect to that
Sure.
project?
Yeah.
The water runoff, is that still a concern down there?
I believe they've resolved that.
Have they resolved it to some sort? Okay.
Yeah, I know there was some like at different points during the construction, there was issues, but I'm pretty sure they've resolved. I haven't heard anything recent about issues with water runoff.
Okay.
So
Well, we haven't had a lot of rain either, so,
yeah.
other than today.
Been more about trying to grow grass down
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then a couple things coming up on, let's see, Brandy already mentioned this, but on Friday is Ashland After Dark. This is an event that was brought about from the businesses downtown. They got together, and that should be a fun event from, I think, 5 to 8 on Friday night.
What's that event look like, do you know?
It is, all the businesses are going to be open, and they're inviting people in. One of the groups is asking for donations for the food pantry. There's going to be music. There's going to be
So it's
probably
it's an
sales.
event where you're
It's-
going to walk around?
You're going to go to all the businesses, right? I heard that, I think they're all going to be open. They're typically not open past a certain time on Fridays, but they're opening up, and
I think there's going to be food.
Crossroads is going to be open.
There's going to be food, there's going to be stuff going on at Corner Spot.
Yep.
I think Anne Marie's is doing a hula hoop contest or something like
Ooh,
that.
That could be fun.
I haven't seen the full agenda. I haven't had a chance
It's
to look.
online, and
It's
but
great.
it should be a lot of fun. It should just
And
be.
there's
Do we
music.
know what
What
time's
time
the
is
hula hoop? I'm
The
sorry.
hula hoop? Oh,
What
I don't
time's the-
know,
I'm sorry.
but we'll have to find,
I
are you a
need-
hula hooper?
well, yes,
I want
actually.
to say the hula hooping
need
is
to-
at Corner Spot, but
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
might want to check the thing, but
All right, all
But it's on.
there's going to be
It's-
live music. I know, like I said, we're going to be at Needham Bank, and I think there's a band there going to be playing, and
Nice.
so it'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
And then one last thing, so tomorrow night, we have a comp plan. It is a review of the draft comprehensive plan. It's looking pretty good. It is a very dense document. But as part of that, for community involvement, for people to come and give their feedback, I had hoped to do 5 forums, but because of different timing, right now, we're down to 4 forums. I was supposed to have help, but I'm going to probably be doing most of these by myself, or we'll see what comp plan members can do. We are looking at Monday, August 25th, so this is next Monday, Tuesday, September 2nd, Thursday, September 4th, and Monday, September 8th, from 7 to 8:30, and those will be done here as well as available on Zoom. The goal was going to be one theme per night, but we're going to try and crunch it so that one of them has 2. I don't know, I have to look at that. So those 4 nights are the opportunity for the public to look at the comprehensive plan, look at the goals, look at the strategies, and just say, yep, we think this is good, or maybe a tweak, or I don't expect large changes to be made. The goals, I think, are pretty set, and the themes are pretty set. But just for the community to come and ask some questions, and then the process will be, it'll go back to the comp plan committee. In September, they'll give it one final review. It will then come to both the select board and the planning board, and then the plan is to bring it to town meeting in November for the community to say yes or no, and we're hoping they say yes. It's been a very thorough process. I don't think the draft is online yet, but it probably will be after our meeting tomorrow night. So you'll have the opportunity to go and see the amount of input that we received from the community for this plan. So again, those are Monday, August 25th, Tuesday, September 2nd, Thursday, September 4th, and Monday, September 8th, from 7 to 8:30 here or via Zoom.
Have those dates, have you given those dates or anyone on the committee? that
Not
wasn't at the
yet.
last
We're
meeting?
going to review that tomorrow.
Okay.
And I have gotten approval from Susan that the room is, I had a fifth date,
is it
but was told that the room was not available. So that's why I've condensed it to
I'm just,
4.
I'm
and-
just thinking, like, I don't know if you've reached out to Jordan to make sure those dates get put in Michael's newsletter?
Yes,
Okay.
it's on my list of things to do tomorrow.
Okay.
This has been one of those things, trying to coordinate and figure,
Yeah,
as well
no.
as you know, there's a
Yep.
lot going on.
Lot going on.
And then the last thing is on Saturday night, the Ashland Dog Park is doing some type of benefit/fundraiser at Clover Road. So you can go have some beer and somehow the dog park benefits. And there should be shovel in the ground within the next week, I believe, or 2 for the dog park. I saw them going to put stakes in the ground yesterday morning as I went into Boston via the train. So that's all I got.
Nice. And the signs are still up there.
Yeah, there's still a sign that says future home of
Yep.
the dog park, so that's happening. That's good.
He told you.
I no longer have a dog, but I'm excited for all the dogs in town.
I know you
I was
do.
gonna say,
I know
you're
you
gonna
do.
need that.
The new empty nester. Makita?
Thank you. So let's see. Last Monday, I was very honored to be part of a merry band of volunteers at the village burial ground, getting rid of a whole bunch of invasive species and other nasties on a nice Monday night. So it was great. Work on that continues as part of my work as a liaisoning with the Historical Commission. There are a couple of questions about the path forward with village burial ground. I'm not going to get into too many details here, but in order for them to do a few things, I think they've landed on really needing to explore a historical deed restriction on that property, and that's something that we can talk a little bit further about later. But I know they'll be asking for some help on that. Let's see, I also was there more like at 7:15 for the Indian Independence Day flag raising. Beautiful event. Every year I go, it just gets better and better. Great to see all the folks out there. Incredible performances too. So just a really beautiful cultural event. Very honored to have been there. Tonight, Yolanda and I actually had our board and committee review meeting, as she had mentioned earlier. We are definitely going to be coming back to y'all for our next meeting. We got to get on the agenda. We're going to be talking about a couple of the other recommendations that we've heard back from our committee members and chairs and Susan and folks who are running the process, as well as some thoughts around addressing some of the issues that were mentioned during those sessions. So looking forward to discussing that with this body the next time we get together.
Cool.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Claudia?
Thank you. I had the pleasure of being away last week on a little vacation, so I wasn't doing much in the way of select board activities. I did, over the weekend, take time to review the August 12th ZBA meeting, where the 10 to 60 Main folks presented, and actually the 61 Waverly Street folks briefly presented. Some renderings of the 10 to 60 Main were shown. They were renderings that worked with a couple of our town architects that worked with their architect to maybe improve upon the actual design. We are kind of winding down pretty quickly on that project. There are certainly some issues still at hand. I think that, you know, we're going to ask for some clarification on some of the questions that have been put forward by people in the community. I know that I reviewed the answers that Mr. Engler had put out in this document on the website, and a lot of his responses were just referencing something else. So I did happen to see our attorney today, and she said that indeed any questions that we still had, that we should put them, you know, in a note to her, and that she and Mr. Winter would make sure that we got responses to those things. I think that one of the real problems with this process has been that people do raise issues. They sometimes send them via email, and they're never discussed again in public. And Mr. Engler, you know, gets a little frustrated when somebody says something that's already been resolved, that was fixed months ago. But people don't have any way of knowing that. And, you know, so that's been a little bit of a problem. I think that, you know I still feel, and I know that there are certainly people in the community that feel that they don't really have enough information about the project and about what we might have some control over and what we maybe don't have any control over at all, and the challenges around that. And so I think that, you know, and I know, Michael, you and I had talked about this at one point, that I don't think that we've done a very good job of really talking about the 40B projects maybe in this forum, for one, that in my mind, you know, you did a great job. You put together a nice, you know, comparison between the MBTA law and 40Bs and how they differ, and they are indeed very different. They do, you know, the MBTA really just is changing your zoning, and 40Bs are really projects and getting them moved through the town's process much faster. So, you know, I do think that as we are getting ready again to talk about, I know we worked hard on a matrix for what our priorities are, and I think that we do need to give this some, you know, priority in the public, because I do feel as though this is, particularly I think 10 to 60 Main, is a project that has the potential to really have extremely negative impact on the community. You know, concerns with traffic, with parking, with the fact that it's going to be built on a plume. The vapor barriers, from what I understand, the research that I've done, they're basically good for 20 years. You know, what happens to those vapors if they're, you know, locked down? Do they spread out and come up some other place? Or, I mean, where do the vapors go? And those are questions, I think, that are fair questions, and that we should have conversations about, and we should have answers for the community as we move forward. And there's certainly, you know, a host of other items. I mean, some that are just maybe you would call more aesthetic, in terms of having a 6-story structure in the middle of town. The landscaping.
I've actually just got a question about that last night, like about landscaping and
Somebody pointed out to me that some of it had disappeared in these new renderings. Now,
Yeah.
the renderings that they showed in that meeting they said weren't complete. And
Okay.
there was some conversations, but you just feel like you don't really have all the information that you'd like to have. I know that at one point I had requested, only after they had suggested it very early on, that they would do a balloon test, and then I had requested that a couple of meetings ago, whatever happened to the balloon test, and someone suggested, well, instead of a balloon test, why don't we just do a rendering that shows the project and how it compares to the surrounding structures. And, you know, I guess, you know, a couple of people said to me, hey, you know, that just doesn't do it. And it's true, it doesn't do it. And I'm thinking, maybe I should have pushed harder about that balloon test, because the other thing with a balloon test is everybody gets to see it when they come down Pleasant Street, or they go down Myrtle Street, or they come from Myrtle Street, rather than a rendering that maybe you saw on television, and you probably didn't. So, you know, we really are winding down quickly. I think that Mr. Engler is going to request a short extension because our attorney isn't available at the next meeting, which is, I think, a good thing. I actually happened to see Attorney Mead today and, you know, talk to her about some of the waivers and how the whole waiver process goes. And that's pretty interesting. I think people would learn a lot if they even looked at some of the waivers that are outlined. And additionally, somebody pointed out to me today that the applicant, when they filed, had to answer certain questions, which have to really ultimately would mean they'd have to request a waiver for. So if but they answered falsely on a couple of these. So you know, then you say, okay, so if they answer that falsely, then do we have to make sure that we force them that they have to submit a waiver for that? So I just feel as though there's still a lot of, I really appreciated the conversation I had with Attorney Mead, but I really feel, and I just happened to be stopping in Town Hall for another purpose, and there she was. So, and she was very generous to offer me to come and sit with her. But in any case, I just feel as though there's a lot of pieces here. You know, I did reach out to Mr. Scherer as well, because he had raised, again, the fact that we can expect to see an increase in railroad traffic through town, which would certainly have a dramatic impact as well. I think we've all experienced what it's like to come through downtown when there's a train. We currently, I believe, according to the schedule, have 25 trains that pass through Ashland on a 24-hour basis. 20 of them stop in Ashland, and 5, you know, are the, whatever they call those routes, the express or whatever. So in any case, but nonetheless, they cause the same, in terms of traffic, they cause the same congestion regardless of whether they happen to stop down the road or not. So in any case, I feel as though there are a lot of pieces here. You know, and I've kind of struggled with how to get this information out, how to really, you know, I hear from people, well, there's a lot of people that think this is a good idea. Well, nobody's come to me and said this is a good idea, not a soul. So, you know, I've kind of been tossing around the idea of trying to put together some kind of a survey that would be both informative and also get some feedback from community members. And we are kind of getting down to the wire, like I said, so if anybody has any suggestions or any questions that you want clarified, Attorney Mead did say to get her a list of things that we felt still might need clarification, so.
When does she need that by?
She didn't give me a timeline, but Attorney Winter is going to be out next, the 26th, which I guess isn't, when's that?
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Well, it must be, no, the following, it must be the following, September 3rd he's going to be gone, I guess. In any case, he's going to be out for the next meeting. So I would say sometime before that period. Right now, with Mr. Engler's request for an extension, that would move us to September 17th. So I would say that we probably should get questions to her within the next week, 10 days.
Do we see the balloon test as still something we could request from them? Just from a visual of what it would look like and make sure that it gets filmed in drones and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I made the request too, very early in the process. I'm just, I mean, you could include it as part of the conditions, but then it's almost like too late. I can certainly make the request again. You know, Mr. Engler seemed a little more, open, I think, to some things at the last meeting. I mean, I was really kind of surprised when he said he would be okay with extending it, you know, to make sure everybody felt comfortable and everything. I thought that was progress. a little bit different than what he has presented before. So maybe he'd be more open to it, you know, at this point in time.
Yeah, and interesting too that somebody pointed out to me today that, you know, the state is suing the federal government about, right, laws and things that they're forcing us to do. And here, the state is forcing us to do things. And just interesting, right? It's the state's suing the federal government, and what about us being forced to do things that we might feel are not, you know, on some level, I feel like there's several safety issues. There's, you know, some of the practical issues around traffic, and there's a lot of issues here. And if a vapor barrier is good for 20 years, well, then what? How do you replace it?
Question.
You know, and I think that there are, that's problematic to me to just be potentially.
You know, Claudia, we had a conversation with Michael last week with respect to some of the things you just brought up, with respect to groundwater, EPA getting involved. And the suggestion was, you know, have a meeting with the EPA, zoning board, and Engler. And I think that should be done before any decisions or anything is.
I'm actually surprised that hasn't come up before. I would have thought the EPA or DEP would have been a little more on top of this, because they know, I mean, there's issues, right? I mean, isn't there some kind of condition that there shouldn't be housing on that lot? And
Yeah.
like, so how, I don't understand how that hasn't come up before.
No, they've been involved even when this was as part of the planning board. I think maybe what Joe was saying is I think it would be helpful, I think, to have them at a ZBA meeting to answer questions.
I think they have to be.
You know, I think that's.
Yeah.
Even if it's only for the public. I
Right.
mean,
That's what, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean-
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what it's for,
Yeah.
right? Going back to what you said, Claudia, about getting questions answered, and, you know, there's a lot of, you know, and again, it's just, I also feel like, I've also like observed that there's just a lot going on, you know, a lot of back and forth, so, you know, I can understand why, you know, communication and clarity around some of this issue may not be like the best, but I think doing something around, like, definitely getting the EPA and having an opportunity for the public to come in and ask questions, particularly around health and safety of this project and how that might impact folks in the town and even the folks that will be living there at that property. I mean, I think these are part of the questions that I think people want to get some clarity on and just make sure that they understand what's happening. And so I do want to echo that, Claudia, because folks are asking me similar questions, and I don't really have any answers for them. So.
Yeah, and just the balloon test thing. So what would it cost for us to do a balloon test? I mean, this building is 69 feet and 11 inches.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a matter of cost, it would just be getting the permission from Rich, I think, at this point.
And we
as
put it on the
building owner.
sidewalk. We put it on the sidewalk, he has no say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the high point.
It's the back side of the building and how.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
The height of the back of the building is what people are concerned about.
But the sidewalk would give you some idea, right?
Yes.
No, I know, not, you might have to reduce it or whatever, but.
It's a lot of string,
Sure.
to go up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I just don't think a rendering really does the trick,
No.
right? And that's,
Renderings can be tricky.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see it in real estate, right? And when you're looking at pictures in houses, and then you go there and
The
you're like,
room,
whoa.
the room looks huge, and then when you get in there, it's teeny tiny, yeah. Are you all set? Are you
Yeah.
good?
Yeah,
I
well,
appreciate
kind of.
the conversation with that, thank you. Go ahead, Brandy.
So I just wanted to also thank Ashland is United. They did a India Independence Day celebration at the farmers market this last week. They did a great job, and so I just wanted to congratulate Ashland is United for all the work that they put into making that event great. Claudia and I and some members of this Ashland Day Committee were at the farmer's market talking to folks. And so we had a good day at the farmer's market. And so a lot of what I'm doing right now is a full-time event planner, it seems. I've taken 3 days. I've taken 3 days off to move my kid to college, and now I'm back. So
It's going to keep you busy.
it's going to
So,
keep me busy. You know how
it's
many
good.
people have told me they're like, oh, it's kind of it'll be a good distraction for you, and I'm like, exactly. So make. I it all plays in, so it's all good. But yeah, so we're I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has offered to help and given funds towards Ashland Day, and for Joe and his support and the team that we're all working together, and it's amazing. So we're hoping for a great day, and we've got like 5 weeks, so no problem, plenty of time.
Plenty of time. I'd say you wake up and it's October 3rd.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. So, yep. But all is good. That's all I've really got, because that's
Good.
all I've
Well,
been doing
thank
this
you.
Ashland Day.
Thank you. Appreciate that, and appreciate all the work that you folks have done throughout the week and so. I too was at the Friday morning service. It was a wonderful event. I just love the costumes. I love the dance, the custom. It's just phenomenal. I love it. It was near and dear to me, and it's just what Ashland's all about. The demographics are changing, and everything is, and this is what Ashland is. And if we can't support each other, then we've got a problem. Then we have a problem. I appreciate Claudia's comments with respect to the 1060 Main Street. I still have a problem with the traffic. Mr. Engler and I are going to be butting heads till the day this project is either done or not done with respect to that. I can see some real issues, especially now that the MBTA is adding 2 more stops on a daily basis to this route, starting 2027. That wasn't taken into consideration, and was never even, when it was asked about, would you consider that and revamp your traffic study, there was no response. There was just dead silence, which is basically has been the response for the last weeks, several weeks or so, with respect to the questions that haven't been asked or have been. It's like shuffling the answers around, so you have to figure out what answers to what question type of deal. But like Michael said at that last meeting, and I was present, physically present for that, he showed some eagerness to accept the extension and offer the extension. Well, okay. To me, it's a little bit. Not enough needs to be done. He hasn't. To me, I just worry that we're not getting the full response and answers from him that we should be getting. The runaround is okay. I'll say it like it is. I just feel it's just a runaround. Anyway, long story short, last concert is this coming Tuesday. I'm not sure if the band is going to be available. We understand that there is one member of the band that's quite ill, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But we'll find a replacement. But it's Tuesday night at 6:30. Band to be announced, to be determined. And they start at 6:30. So bring your mosquito spray just in case. Just to bear with you, and we'll make sure that we get it right. And appreciate all the work that you folks have done. School starts next week. Watch out for the kids that are walking to school.
Scootering or?
Yeah, right, and absolutely. And we won't be meeting until after the Labor Day weekend, so happy Labor Day to everybody. Make it safe. If you're traveling, make sure that you get to where you're going safely and return safely, because we don't want to miss anybody. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, good night, and happy Labor Day, everybody.
See you on the 3rd.